still don't have a good intro. If you have a good intro idea, please let me know because I am struggling here. But hi, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hey, how you doing? My name is Ash. I am a makeup artist and book lover, and today is the first book video of the new year. I'm so excited for this. So just in case you are new here and you don't know how this usually works, typically I do a reading wrap-up where I talk about the books that I finished the previous month while I get ready. But here's the deal. I worked so much on my videos for YouTube in December that I barely read anything. So I'm just going to do a quick wrap-up where I talk about the books that I finished because it wasn't a lot at all. I finished the series and then I literally read only 3 physical books and the rest was on my Kindle. And then I'm going to talk about my January TBR and my goal for reading this year. So I'm going to talk about the Kindle reads that I did. So the first book I finished in December was Garnet Flats. This is book 3 in the Eden series by Devney Perry. I gave this one a 4-star rating. I enjoyed it. It made me angry, but I enjoyed it. I complained so much to my husband about this book. This follows Talia, Eden, and her love interest Foster, who is an MMA fighter and she is a doctor. 7 years ago, Foster broke her heart. You know how he broke her heart? He goes off and marries her best friend. Like all of a sudden, out of the blue. They're so entwined together, so in love, and it's just like one day he's like, you know what? I'm gonna marry your best friend. Within those 7 years, she cuts off all contact with him. She finishes college. She gets her doctorate. She's ready to take on being a real doctor, and she moves back to her hometown to be a doctor in a hospital there. So he ends up showing up at Quincy with a surprise in tow. A lot of this is miscommunication, but on like his end, and like she had the full right to be as pissed with him as she was in the book. Devney Perry should have made Foster grovel a hell of a lot more. Talia did not deserve what Foster and her best friend did. Like, no. I can hold a grudge. After 7 years, would not be able to forgive this man. The feelings I had, the anger feelings that I had. Haven't experienced that with any of her other books, but that one. I'm gonna skip around to another book. I read a short novella by Meghan Quinn, The Resting Scrooge Face. I gave this a 4-star rating. I thought this was super cute, super fast to read, very funny, so just adorable. You have Noah, who is back in her hometown after a bad breakup, and the last thing she wants to do in her hometown is to run into the boy that broke her heart before she moves away to New York. So Caleb stayed in a small town. Noah went to the big city. So 7 years later, they're back in the same area, and they really don't want to run into each other, but then they had some meddlesome old people decide like, hey, they're going to secretly exchange letters, and it's the cutest thing. I literally laughed out loud with this. I am so excited to read more of Meghan Quinn's stories. And then I read another Christmas novella. This was Close Enough for Christmas by Brit Ashby. I gave this one also a 4-star rating. This is about Mariah, who inherits a small shop in this Christmas town, and you have Sully, who is the grumpy lumberjack man, and he starts to help her out with the shop. He's a single dad, adorable little girl, and they start working together, fulfilling Christmas orders, and it's just a cute little love story. There was like almost like a novella with a 3rd act breakup. But overall, it was a very good Christmassy vibe short book. I adored it. And then let's talk about the Christmas Fall series. I finally finished all that. All the books are out. There's how many? There are 9 books altogether. I started with book 4 because I read 1 through 3 in November. Book 4 is Silent Night. This is with Murphy and Jem. They are former best friends. They reunite in their 30s, and they are tasked to work together in this Christmas town. Murphy has always harbored a crush on Jem, and Jem was just too much of an idiot to realize it, and then they get together. It was cute. Most of the books in the series I gave a 5-star rating because it was very Christmassy, very cute, very just right up my alley. These are all MM romances, so keep that in mind if you're not into that. Under the Mistle-tome is book 5. This involves Trevor and Trey, who goes by T. They were best friends, and then Trevor ended up moving away and they stopped contacting each other, and then Trevor comes back 10 years later with a daughter in tow, and he meets up with T, and then they kind of rekindle their relationship. And T runs a bookstore called Seasons Readings, and I Love that. The next book was Causing a Scene. This one, I feel like it fell a little flat. I was not that much of a fan of it. I did give it a 4 because like towards the end it like got better, but if I were to go back and re-rate it, I'd probably give it like a 3. This is age gap, best friend's father, and honestly it was a little awkward, I'm not gonna lie. It was the least Christmassy. So you have Brant and Hig. Hig is Brant's best friend's father. Brant is 25 and Hig is 42. I will point out that Hig's son, Brant's best friend, he was a little too comfortable with them two getting together. Like personally, I would freak the F out. Book 7 was No Elfing Way. This is Ezra and James. James is like this grumpy guy who comes back to town, hates Christmas. Ezra is working at James's grandfather's Christmas toy shop, and they end up working out their differences. James is like the almost villain in this, but he like redeems it at the end, but like he really messed up in the middle of that. Like he should have apologized a lot more, just saying. Very cute. Gave that one 5 stars. Book 8 was Ready, Set, Glow. This is with Bruce and Felix. Bruce runs the Christmas tree farm. Felix is a new employee. There is an age gap. It's boss employee, and it's a grumpy sunshine. Bruce is very grumpy. He runs, the Christmas tree farm, and he's not that much of a fan of Christmas. Overall, the book didn't have a lot of drama to it. You just had Bruce, who was like kind of afraid of commitment, but they worked out their differences and they get together, and it was cute. It was cute. And then the last book in this series was Scrooge You. This takes place between Joel and Hayden. This is again another age gap. I think there's about a 10-year difference. You have Hayden, who is the younger man who hates Christmas. He hates the season and everything. He hates Christmas falls, and he's just there because he hasn't found a job. Joel runs the local bakery. He is like a teddy bear of a man. Their relationship is very interesting. Just saying. It was cute but predictable, but I absolutely loved it. Overall, apart from Causing a Scene, this series is one of my favorite Christmas series that I've read. I would give it a solid 4.75 rating overall. Alright, and the last 2 books I read on my Kindle, I started a new series that had nothing to do with Christmas, and this series is a cowboy protection agency sort of thing. So I read High Stakes Cowboy, which is the prequel to West Protection, and technically book 1 in the series is Rescued by the Cowboy. I'm not going to talk too much about this individually for the books. I believe the family name is Whitten. So you have the cowboy family Whitten in Montana, and they're a large group of people, and they would help out around like the local like ranches and fairs and stuff as like doing security for people. And then the oldest Whitten decided that he was going to start his own business, and that is where West Protection Agency comes in. And there is 14 books total in the series. I love these type of books in the same way that I love bad action movies, because I know that they're ridiculous and it's just a good time, because it's honestly cowboys doing like military style stuff. It's crazy. But those are all of my December reads. I gave those 2 books 4 stars. I don't know how I'm going to feel about the rest of the series, but that is to be determined. So let's talk about the 3 books that I did finish. The first one was Holly Jolly Cowboy by Jessica Clare. Apparently, I'm on the cowboy kick, and I'm not too mad about that. This is about Holly and Adam. Holly is a local girl. She's working at the local bar trying to raise money, save money to help her little sister go through college. Adam works at the local ranch. They get off on the wrong foot. Adam is actually like one of the biggest dickheads that I've read so far, and I've read some pretty dickish men. Just the way that he treats Holly and what he does, and like the way that he doesn't grasp it. Like, how are you like in your 30s and you don't grasp like what you did was effed up? But she forgives him, and it's a happily ever after. This is actually part of a series, and I actually think that this is the last book in the series. It didn't feel like part of a series, if that makes sense. Like, I think everything was like interconnected, but obviously standalone. But it was cute. Even though Adam made me incredibly angry, I still gave this a 4-star rating because I thoroughly enjoyed it. To be honest, this wasn't as Christmassy as you would think it would be. And I read A Holly Jolly Ever After by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. This is book 2 in whatever the series is called. I read A Merry Little Meet Cute in November, and I love that one. This one I didn't like as much, just because I feel like they didn't communicate as well. This follows Callum and Winnie. They are working together on a movie set, and she has an issue that Callum is all too happy to help with, but I feel like a lot of this like falls flat. I started feeling bad for how Callum's viewed himself, but then like they wrote him in a way that like he became an idiot. Like he didn't start an idiot, he became an idiot. And Winnie, like I feel like all she had to do was talk. Literally, all she had to do was talk and everything would be fine. Alright, and then the last physical book I read was Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. This is finally the first Tessa Bailey book I have read. And if I'm being honest, I wish that this wasn't my first Tessa Bailey book. I don't hate it. I did end up giving it like a 4-star rating. It's like a maybe like a 3.75 to a 4, somewhere in that range. This isn't bad. I have an issue with the names Beat and Melody. That's a different story. This wasn't very Christmassy, and I didn't realize going into this that this was Beat and Melody are on a live stream TV show where they are trying to get their mothers back together. It was fun, it was cute, I enjoyed it. Their love story kind of happens like super fast. They meet for the first time when they're 16 for like 5 minutes, and then like flash forward to their 30s, and then they meet again and it's like instant love. Not horrible, but like I wanted a little bit more because like this entire thing takes place like over like the course of like 3 weeks. You know, you could fall in love with somebody in 3 weeks, but I'm just saying, like it just happened like really fast. Also, like the way that Melody and Beat's relationship goes, I feel like Melody was very unfair to Beat with the whole trust thing. It's like, hello, you literally just started hanging out with the guy like 4 days ago. Like, no shit, he's not gonna fucking trust you. Like, get over yourself. That's my thought on that. I am excited to read more of her. I just wish that this wasn't my first like take on her writing, because I heard like her other books are much better. Do I regret it? No, but it is what it is. So that's everything that I read in December. So let's get into my January TBR, and let's be honest, I don't know how well this is gonna go this month because I just haven't been wanting to pick up a physical book yet because I've been just sucked into my Kindle so much. I did continue on with the West Protection series. I am on the 4th or 5th book of that. They're quick reads, about like 300 or less pages. One book I am for sure going to read this month is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I'm gonna finish off the Folk of the Air series because I've been dying to, and I just haven't picked this up yet. I have the bookmark in here ready to go. I probably will start this weekend. I'm filming this on Thursday, so I'm not sure when this video goes up, but I do plan on starting to read this soon. I'm not going to spoil anything about that, but it follows The Cruel Prince, then The Wicked King, and then this is the final book in that trilogy. And then I decided it is officially time for me to read the Chestnut Spring series. This is by Elsie Silver, so you have Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, Reckless, and then Hopeless, which should be in the mail at any time. These are all interconnected standalones. They are cowboy romances, except for this one. Powerless is a hockey, everything else is cowboy. They follow basically the Eaton family, and I've heard great things about these. These are also available on Kindle Unlimited. I just wanted the physical copy because I feel like I'm gonna love the series. I just know it. And this book actually came out at the end of November. This is A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch by Sarah Hawley. The first book is A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. This one obviously has to deal with witches and demons. So you have Khalidia, who is like this badass blonde witch who is best friends with the main chick in the first book. And you have Astaroth, which is a high-ranking demon who had basically control over the demon in the first book. I'm spacing on names right now. She does not like him, and then he is impressed with her. So I am very excited for this. I think it's going to be such a fun read. I really like the first one. High hopes for this. I'm going to dive back into the Never After series by Emily McIntyre. This is Scarred, the second book. These technically do not have to be read in order because they are not interconnected. It's just part of the Never After series, so it's like fairy tales reimagined and dark, and like the villain gets the girl. This one is a Lion King retelling, and I am very excited for this. When I finish this one, I might just go ahead and jump into the next one, but I loved Hook. I gave Hook 5 stars. Then I'm going to try to get to Butcher and Blackbird by Brenda Reaver. I heard that this is an amazing audiobook, but I am not into audiobooks. I might try that this year, but the 2 main characters in here are Serial and the Livers, and I just heard that it's really like funny. The banter is great, and I am so excited for this. And then I am finally taking the journey into ACOTAR. I'm starting my Sarah J. Maas journey. I'm going to start reading ACOTAR, and eventually I will read A Court of Mist and Fury. I have spoiled some of the ACOTAR series for myself because I was just curious about what a lot of stuff meant. So I know why Tamlin is like hated online, but I'm still excited to read it. So I'm gonna start with these and then move on to Throne of Glass and then Crescent City. Very excited for that. So that's everything that I plan on reading in January. I am trying to read so many of my physical books. I have a goal of 200 books to read this year, and half of those I want to be physical books because I just have a ton to get through. I think I can do it though. I think I can. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any book recommendations, what you're excited to read this year, let me know down below. And if you set a goal for yourself for reading this year, let me know what that goal is also. I'd love to see what everybody else is doing. You can also follow me on Goodreads. I'm very bad at leaving reviews on Goodreads, but I make these videos so it kind of balances out. It's something to work on this year. But I think that's everything. If you want, you can follow me on my other socials. I'm artistryxashh everywhere. And if you want more book content, I am devouring bookishly on TikTok and Instagram. But thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.